Hi all, nice that you're watching this video. My name is Thijs and this is Peter. We just recorded a webinar in Dutch. So for the English speaking person, we would like to do a small recap. The webinar was all about how the role is changing from an engineering manager in a world where development is overflowed with AI nowadays. And we determined that there are 4 levels of software development using AI. Peter, can you please elaborate a bit on this?
Yeah, nice. I'm glad to. So roughly we distinguish 4 levels of using AI in the whole software development lifecycle. First of all, you've got vibe coding. That is using tools like Lovable and many other platforms. And then it's great for demos. Second level, we call it occasional prompting. So you are a software engineer sitting behind the laptop and you want a certain piece of code written or a unit test written or whatever. Then you use AI to generate that specific piece of code. Third level is really a step up from the second level of occasional prompting. That is spec-driven development. So you describe the behavior, is this, then that. If the user presses this and doesn't fill in a value, show this message. So a lot of spec-driven development is where most people are currently. But to do that structurally, you need a 4th level too, and that is agentic software development. And there you have a lot of agents and skills and specific instructions on how that code that you want to be generated using spec-driven development, how that fits your system, your architecture, your way of working, that it is scalable, that it is safe. And more and more development teams are now investigating, figuring out this 4th level of agentic software development, where the generated code and where the generated unit test or screens or whatever you do fits your current architecture and is safe and reliable in performance.
Yeah, that's all clear and very interesting.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, level 4, the agentic development, that's like the peak state where we are now.
But currently the peak state. Yeah, we never know what level 5 might be, but
of course,
currently it's level 4.
All right. And so the big differences between spec-driven development and agentic development, can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, so the big difference is that you build specific guardrails, specific instructions, that the code that you produce using spec-driven development is repeatedly fits your architecture. In the video that we will show, I will also explain that AI has a bit of randomness in it, that sometimes it's what you expected and sometimes it's not. And to make sure that most of the times it's what you expected, you have to hook your skills, your instructions, your prompts, how you want the agent to work.
Yeah.
And you put that in your source control next to the code. Those are MD files, so that every team member has the same instructions for using AI to generate the software.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, or if I understand you right, the 4th level of this, let's say, holistic agentic development has mainly to do with controlling the output of this AI in a more generic way, that it's more used, or let's say that we can use it more often instead of having a different outcome every time. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so as Peter already mentioned, we recorded the video and we would like to show you the video now.
In today's video, we're going to have a look on how you can use AI in the whole software development lifecycle. In this example, we're going to have a look at an application that has been built totally by using spec-driven development, and it consists of several layers. It has a UI layer, a business logic layer, a database layer, and of course an infra stack. It's an advanced CRM application where you can have multiple organizations, multiple contacts. You can search for contacts, search for organizations. There are a lot of opportunities and deals that you can manage. You can drag deals to different columns, indicating that they have been moving to another phase. There is a forecast calculation. Also manage your social media posts, write a new post on Twitter or LinkedIn. And today we are going to use an AI agent to build a new screen around the make notes. That has not been implemented yet, and we are going to show how you can use AI to make a design of a screen and make a decision on how the application will look like. But before we'll dive into the new features, let's have a look on how this application has been actually built. One of the key things when you're going to work with spec-driven development or even agentic software development is that you write specific agents and specific skills that make sure that your code has high quality and is consistent. Because these LLMs have a kind of randomness in it, and there are millions of examples on how you can write classes, controllers, UI screens, etc. If you want to have consistency that day in, day out, week in, week out, your application is building the same patterns, using the same types of code, building the same types of dialogue, it's crucial that you write specifically on how your agents need to create code or design screens. So what we have been doing is creating specific skills and specific instructions for these agents on how they should work with controllers, how action patterns look like, how to get a single, how to create within a controller, how to do input validation rules, how DTOs look like to communicate between the backend and the front end. And as you can see, I've created several agents and I like to give them a name. For example, Dave. And Dave is our database expert, our database agent. And he also needs to know the skill that is needed to create backend database patterns. And skills are when multiple agents need to be able to do the same things, you put them in a skill. When a single agent has to do something, you put it in the agent file. And when we look at it, we, for example, are working with entity framework core migrations. We especially say how we want to use row-level security within the Postgres SQL. So if you want consistency, week in, week out of all your AI agents that are generating the code and building your application, you need to be very specific on the skills and on the on how you want your code and your screens to look like. So in today's example, we'll further dive into how you can use AI to create screens and to make a design and discuss that with colleagues, business people. Should we build the screen like this or more like this? And the tool is called Design Shotgun. And as you can see here in the blue, it can generate multiple AI design variants, open a comparison board, collect structured feedback, and iterate on improvements. And with this Design Shotgun tool, we are going to create multiple screens for this new Make Notes 8. What's the idea of this screen? Well, what we want is that it can record meetings and phone calls and that it connects it with the right customer or with the right to-do board. It worked hard and it worked on 3 HTML versions. Let's have a look. This is just a preview and we can say to open the first one. As you can see, it worked with the dark color scheme. I didn't show that in the demo, but this is actually the dark color scheme that we have for the Friendly 8. It shows the same menu items, but then the Make Notes 8, and then it gives a nice demo on how it looks like. See, let's open the alternative B. This is on the light screen. Let's see the differences. Let's open alternative C. This is a bit more complex. You can see here the recordings that it had and here the details. With B, it's just cards and you can probably click on them. And with A, it's a list with a nice call to record a nice follow-up meeting. So, which one do we like the most? I think I like this one the most. It matches more with the screens that we already have. So let's go for option B. Continue with that. What we want to do is to make another design, a more detailed design, building on variable B. How the user can select action items, change the organization. and look at the transcript. So it has finished creating a nice overview. Let's have a look on how it looks like. Here we can see the board. It has created a nice conversation between the people that have spoken. Change here the names of the speaker. So for example, this guy wasn't Peter, but it was with a little change in it. It can be updated nicely. Other rename buttons over here. And we can change the action items to associate it with a sprint board or another board or even my task, or just keep it to the organization that we had it. Yeah, I actually like it a lot. Let's turn this into a spec. Yeah, let's start implementing. So it has created all the artifact. It has a proposal, a design, and some specific specifications. Let's have a look at on how that actually looks like in the MD file that it has created. This is the main design. It has created a context, the goals, the non-goals that are from the design criteria, and some decisions. It will have a DTO. It will have a make notes page, etc. And when you look at the proposal, it describes the capabilities, the impact, and what it will actually be. This is a requirement around the action items that needs to be extracted from the recordings. This all looks good, so let's move it to an actual implementation.
So, Peter, we just saw the video, which was very cool and nice to watch.
Amazing every time.
Yeah, super interesting. But for now, the question is the way of working that you just showed us in this video. How does that impact the role of an engineering manager?
Yeah, the role of an engineering manager, he needs to step up to these new possibilities and to all the things that are now available. And there are basically a few things that what we see successful engineering managers do differently than the ones that get stuck. What successful engineering managers do is they focus a lot what we call BizDevOps. So let me explain the term by looking back to a history.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, we had different departments, a department for testing, a department for design, and another department that did the software development. And luckily, over the last 10, 15 years, we merged those separate departments into cross-functional teams, where in one team, we had testers, developers, designers, analysts, all sitting together, collaborating on the software to be built. Now with AI and speeding that up drastically, what we see a lot is that people move toward BizDevOps, so that you have cross-functional teams with business people inside that can actually make decisions on business outcomes, on features. One has to look at this, let's do it like that. And then within a few minutes, you get no waiting time, no delays, because within a few minutes, you get answers from business on potentials that you see, alternatives that pop up. So the screen that you saw in the demo, that is typically something that you ask your colleague that now sits next to you instead of the other floor. Come have a look. These are the options. What do we think? And you study the screen for an hour. And in the video, I was quickly doing it in 30 seconds, else we would watch the video for hours. But you would discuss it, reprompt, come with alternatives, and together you would design the stream properly. But in such a way that the design stream is in a format that can be used immediately for generating the code, generating the test, generating the performance test, writing the user's manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is so drastically changing how it works. And the role of engineering manager is to drink lots of cups of coffee with his business people to move towards this new BizDevOps kind of setup.
Yeah, and also maybe to, let's say, create some time for the teams to find out or figure out how this is actually working. It's just facilitate the space that they need to experiment with these new developments.
Yeah. And it costs time this week and next week. But luckily, when you do it right, when you continuously learn, the benefits are often there within a few months.
Yeah.
So the investment now pays back already within a few months.
Yeah, and I can imagine that as an engineering manager, these are the questions that you also need to discuss with the rest of the stakeholders of your company, because they hear everything about AI and software development, and they think, we can move way faster.
Yeah.
Where are the results? We need to see speed now. But first of all, you need to create time and space to, let's say, experiment and find out or figure out how this will work. And then on a couple of months, you will get the benefits of the speed.
Yeah. And you also have to kind of downplay it a bit, because some of those stakeholders have seen the result in Lovable in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and they think it works. We can put it out to the customers.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
That is not how it works. Good for demos, but it doesn't fit your architecture, your security, your performance, everything that's within your current software platform.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. And I would like to see the video about the result that you just saw. So let's move on to the video.
Let's see what he has actually built. This is the screen. It's close to what he has designed. And we see here a nice record button, and I already experimented with it with 2 recordings earlier. So let's live test how it actually works. Today I spoke with Anchor Systems, with Ella Washington. We spoke about the 3 action items that still needs to be done. She wants an updated version with a 5 megapixel camera on it. She wants me to call her back and explain the proposal. And after that, she will tell me if she agrees with it or not. As you can see, it's uploading the audio, it's transcribing it. And here we can see the actual result. It transcribed literally what I said. It created a summary. I think I spoke too much with the Dutch accent, so the summary is a bit too much in Dutch. Although I said there are 3 action items remaining, it only distilled 2 action items for me, because the third one, when she will call me back, is not really an action item for me. So I actually like the result. And I can associate it with the organization, Anchor System, and I can associate it with Ella Washington. Yeah, I like it. It actually looks good.
So wow, this is amazing, and this is actually a feature that I was looking for 3 years ago, maybe, and especially because in Dutch this is very hard back in the days, and so amazing that this is working so good.
Yeah, it works massively, but know that for the video we cut out a few of the not working parts. It's like a cooking show, right? The cake comes out of the oven within a few minutes and it's perfect. Yeah, that's not the cake. Probably he baked 3/4 cakes differently and he only showed the perfect cake.
It's good to be honest about it, right?
Of course. But so I had to pivot a bit. The first version introduced an old version of Whisper. The transcript was not very good. I altered it. I added a summary. But that is, I think, also the development manager needs to understand this and really focus on learning, improving. It's not great every time. It's often not great the first time. But bottom line, when you really use this agentic framework, you get a very solid performance boost out of delivering features. But it's still up to you and the business, the development manager and the business, to know if it fits the whole chain. And that is making strategic choices on functionality directions, designing it, implementing it, testing it, shipping it to customers, but actually learning from customers. Are they using it? Do they like it? Are the feature toggles showing data that it actually helps in the production? And this whole thing was already important for years, but thanks to AI, it's even more important, or finally, if you've got time to do it that way. And engineering managers needs to emphasize it's on the end result and not on the lines of code. It's on learning from actual users. Do they like the software? And feed that back with the business to new strategic choices. And having this fast loop of building features, shipping it quickly, knowing if it works. Huge potential, but you can also drive very fast off the cliff if you don't brake for the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for elaborating on this topic, Peter. And if you like this topic and if you are willing to speak about it, please let us know. First of all, follow Peter on LinkedIn and reach out to Peter or to me if you want to discuss more about this topic. And for now, thank you for watching this video and hopefully see you next time.